Welcome to the show, Ashlee and Tara, burning the stigma. Burn the stigma. I got it. You're both veterans of the show. It's funny. Ashlee's been on now 9 times. And Tara, this is your 4th time. And the last time you were on, I think it was the last time, was around almost exactly 4 years ago when you guys met, when I did a panel episode when it was us 3 and my buddy Foster. You remember Foster?
Yeah, I remember
Foster's
that.
the man. I love Foster. He had his little dog with him when we were recording last time. Yeah, Tara, go ahead. You can smoke with YouTube, Tara. So, and my show, you're loud. I don't care.
Thank you.
We want to talk about something about this. So it's funny that you said that. We were about to get started, and so a little about Tara, burn the stigma. We met through Tara's old content page, which was like basically pro cannabis and cannabis in recovery and cannabis, like just living a healthy lifestyle and how it's possible. And that's how like we got started, because at the time I still smoked. And I posted about smoking all the time. And I was like, hey, we should be friends, because I lived in Massachusetts before. And next thing you know, like, you've been on my show a bunch of times. Like I just said 4. And then I was just on your show too.
Yeah.
And in that episode, did that episode come out? Did I miss it?
No, it's not out yet.
Okay, yeah. So, and I actually, and like you talked about in our episode with your show, is I helped you get started with your show.
Yeah, the first one, the Beyond the Rooms that I did with Dana.
Dana, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dana and I had a fun episode. Now, Tara, do you mostly smoke bowls? What is your preference for smoking?
Nowadays I mostly smoke bowls because like I'm not like a heavy smoker, right? Like I'll take like a hit or 2 from my bowl and like I'm good. Like there'll be times that I want to actually smoke and I'll hit my bong, but I'll smoke throughout the day multiple times, but it's literally like a hit or 2 because that's what makes me feel good. If I smoke too much, then I'll either get in my head too much or I just will get like stuck on something like that's not productive. So it's been about learning what's the best for me, the most productive for me, which is pretty much 2 hits.
I was the same way with smoking bowls. I always had it packed. And if I like walked by like my room, my office, like, I should go take a hit. I'll step in, take a rip or 2, and then move on and come back later on and just take a hit or 2 and then go on with my day and like kind of microdose with like bowl rips. What about you, Ashlee?
Same. I mean, like, honestly, like I wake up early as hell and I go to work. So like, I don't even smoke before work. I go through my whole work day. I don't smoke. My smoking is more of like when I come home in the evening and I'm trying to decompress and just relax. Like that's what I use it for, and sleep.
Because you work in recovery, right, Ash?
No, all the stuff I do is just like my Ohio can, all that is just because I give a shit. I don't get paid for the work I do. I just do it. I'm a housekeeping and laundry supervisor at a nursing home.
Nursing home, okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was something where you're taking care of people. Nursing home, elderly people, same difference. I mean, elderly people, addicts, same difference.
Yeah.
And you both, and that's the other thing I like about you too, is you both give back to the communities when it comes to being like pro naloxone, if I'm saying it wrong. Now you just did an event over the weekend, Tara, right?
Yeah, we just had the Boston Freedom Rally, so that was Friday and Saturday, and I was smiling at what you were saying, Ashlee, because I was just there all day Friday, all day Saturday, and like I don't get paid for it. You know what I mean? Like it costed me money to go. Between the parking was like $50 plus like the stickers that I print, all that stuff. Like it cost me money to do those events. Luckily, I get the naloxone. They give me 4 milligram. They give me Narcan to give out. So I get that through the state, and they give me fentanyl test strips and like a couple little printout and stuffs that I can order through a website, which is cool. So I don't have to pay for that. But anything extra, I have to pay for. And then obviously my time. And then you're there like with a bunch of people who You know, some people like their business, and you know, like that's how they're making money. And a lot of these events, like you're just there. But I do it because, like I say, like I give a shit. And having like I'll have people come up to me in recovery that are like kind of at the event on the DL when I'm at cannabis events, and then they see something like that's recovery related, and they're so excited. I had a lady tell me, she's like, I have never in my life thought that I would see on a banner a Narcan and a pot leaf. You know, she's like, it's so cool to like see those two worlds colliding, because that is so many people's worlds. That is cannabis and recovery, and so many people have to keep it a secret, and it sucks, you know.
Yeah.
So people like seeing when people are loud, and because again, like so many people are closeted about it, and there's so many of us out there, and it sucks how many people feel they have to be quiet about it.
Speaking of being quiet about it, Ashlee, I know you do so much with Ohio Can, but I feel like you're trying to like break free of having to be quiet because let's be honest, you are part of 12 steps. We don't have to say which one unless you don't care, but you have to feel like you can't talk about it, but you have this in you where like you want to scream from the mountains like how much has helped you, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And like that's why I love following Tara so much, because like the whole 12-step thing, I see where like the damage can come for people. And like I've even heard things like in rooms that like could be damaging to me, but I feel like I'm really good at like taking what I want and leaving the rest. So when I can hear some of the dumb shit I hear, I'm like, okay, that doesn't even pertain to me. I don't even care. You know, but yeah, dealing with a lot of that in the 12 steps, like I was closeted about like my marijuana use until I think like April of this year, when that thing happened. And
Yeah, tell us about that. What happened?
well, I do a lot of nonprofit work, and I practice harm reduction, and I love you, whether you're using, whether you're trying to get sober, even if you're not trying to get sober, if you're in recovery, if you're a family member impacted by it. So back in April was Fentanyl Awareness Day, and I was on a schedule to speak about my experience with fentanyl. That's all it was going to be. Well, then this year, Easter was on 4/20. So on my private Snapchat, there was a video of me smoking a bong. And I don't know who, but the video got back to the person who runs this other organization. And I received this big long message that I'm recording myself actively using, like making it sound like I'm just like have a needle in my arm on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, in simpler words, I basically got told that since I'm still in active use, they're taking me off the flyer. They do not want me to speak at their event any longer, because basically my experience with fentanyl is less valid because I choose to use marijuana in my recovery.
What are your thoughts, Tara? Because Ashlee knows mine.
I have, first of all, there's like I have 20 million thoughts, but the first one is that I don't know how I didn't realize that you were in the rooms. So the fact that you're able to take what I say and like not hate me is says a lot about you, first of all. You know what I mean? And like how you think, because there are a few people, I want to say maybe now with you a full handful of people that I know that I've met, you know, online.
Yeah, NA here too.
Yeah. Of who can be friendly with me, considering everything that I do say about the rooms, and can hear it and recognize it, but can also do whatever they need to do for, you know what I'm saying? Like that's very commendable. So that's huge. But second of all, that shit with the speaking and shit, I mean, that is literally the problem. This is the problem. That sums up like a just majority of what the problem is with the recovery community. is that because you're doing something that they have deemed wrong, then your experience, even though your life, I'm sure, is probably better than some of those motherfuckers, right? And even though you're doing better in your life because you are able to use a substance that doesn't bring any like, we have demonized feeling good, right? Like once you're in recovery, you can't don't feel good, you know, it might say, like, we've demonized this feeling of feeling good. But it's I mean, yeah, I don't want to take up the whole show because I could talk about this forever. So, but that right there sums up like a majority of the issue that is wrong with the recovery community right there. The fact that people, they could have talked their shit and had their feelings, but the fact that they took you off, right?
Yeah.
Like, let them talk shit, let them have their feelings, send the message, say, I don't agree with this, fucking whatever. But the fact that they had you on and took you off, the fact that they had the power to do that and everybody was okay with it.
They had a flyer made. They had a flyer made with my picture on it and everything that had been shared for the 2 months.
Oh my God.
A week before the event is when this all happened. And then all of a sudden I'm removed. So then I'm getting all of these messages like, what's going on? Why aren't you speaking anymore? Da, 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 da. And then, like, I also understand that, like, this organization that was doing this event, they do a lot with children, and a lot of it is geared towards prevention. But I know that there's times and places to discuss certain things. Obviously, if I'm at a prevention event, I'm not going to get up and be like, fuck yeah, kids, smoke weed. You know what I mean? Like, and then the woman also, like, tried to justify it by saying, well, I smoke cigarettes, but I don't smoke cigarettes around kids because I don't want to promote
That's
that.
right.
I'm just like, what child was watching my private Snapchat? You know, like,
Snapchat isn't even your name or anything. Like, it is like the weirdest thing ever. So, like, no one's ever going to guess your Snapchat name to follow you to see what you're doing on your it's not like you were on Facebook smoking weed. You know, you were on your private Snap for like your X amount of friends to see. Like, that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, this shit.
You messaged me on one that day, like sending me screenshots, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I was hot, and like, honestly, I responded because, like, I was pissed, and I'm the type.
Your response was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I did very, very well because number one, like, my feelings were hurt by it, and number two, like, I was fucking pissed, but I responded very appropriately to her, and I was just basically like, you know, this is that stigmatic shit that you see me posting about constantly. And I'm not even going to argue with you about it. We can just agree to a disagree right now, but this is just wild to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God. As I'm reading what she said to you, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, what's her response going to be? What's her response going to be? And, you know, I'd known you for 4 years. I'm like, what's her response going to be? And then I saw your response. I'm like, oh, nice. That was a nice response. You didn't blow up on her. You just were like,
so what'd you say?
What's that?
What'd you say?
What did I say back to her?
Yeah.
And I said, like, you know, this is that stigmatic stuff that you see me post about constantly. You know what I mean? And
yeah. Sorry.
Tell me that I'm posting a video of me actively using, like, now you're making it sound like I'm just smoking crack or shooting up on camera and sharing it with everybody. Like, it was just, I just really couldn't believe that that's the way that she was.
And the crazy thing is that, like, so much more attention was brought to it by what, like, something that, like, you know, she wanted to apparently keep from people, right? Like, that was the whole, like, reason for you, like, oh, we can't have someone like that, so we can't let people, you know that we're associated with however they were thinking. Right. But then in doing that, they raised more questions and more like, what the fuck is going on?
I found it.
It's just fucking
ready?
Gross.
Yeah. She said, Ashlee, you're killing me, LOL. Which bothered me that she said LOL. Like, I don't want you're killing me. I have to take you off our speaker list for Fentanyl Awareness Day. Someone gave me a heads up about your Easter Snapchat, so I did go look at it. Like, you didn't go look at it. Since we have teamed up with the National Guard, we have also moved into the prevention side of things with kids. That video is just not a good look for us. Everyone that has their own feelings on marijuana should capitalize marijuana too, including me. I know a lot of people who smoke and a lot who use marijuana for medical purposes. However, they don't post them and they don't speak at awareness events. I am very sorry, sad face emoji. If I can ever do anything to help with anything, let me know. And you said, and that's why I don't advertise, talk about on my Facebook, which is where I do my advocating and such. And also, I don't promote it when speaking because I know how judgmental people can be. But okay, I get it. I am mad at you. And she said, I'm glad you're not mad. Love you, Ash. And he said, I love you too. But this is also the stigmatizing stuff that I'm always posting and talking about. She says, I don't believe it is the stigmatizing at all. It is all about our focus being on kids. I smoke cigarettes, but won't smoke them in front of our kids. Da, 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 da. And you said, okay.
Yeah, I can't. And then that day I was like, that's when I was kind of like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I do try, like, me using marijuana was like a kind of thing on my own time. And like I said, I don't get on my fucking Facebook and like promote it just because I know how people can be. I am really involved in the recovery community. I'm a naloxone distributor. I do the fentanyl test strips. I give out Plan B, condoms, XYZ. I used to do the safe use supplies, which I got a lot of kickback from that as well. But it's just now I've really stepped back from like the recovery community because I'm in a rural area where it is, you're doing AA or NA, you are totally fucking abstinent. If you smoke weed, you are not sober. They've even just started, like within the last like year or two, starting to maybe accept people being on suboxone or methadone without tearing into their ass saying that you're not sober. Like,
yeah, I wonder if it's because also, Tara, you live in Massachusetts, not to say where exactly, well, you just said Boston, but you know, where like you guys are more progressive when it comes to, you know, trying things and being more accepted. Like, do you see still it's not acceptable to be like, because you don't go to the rooms anymore.
Yeah.
But do you have friends that go to the rooms?
No. I mean, but there is. I was saying Massachusetts, but I'll answer this question. But there's something I want. There's a couple of things I wanted to say on what Ashlee said.
Yeah.
So there in Massachusetts, we do really well with harm reduction, and we do really well with harm reduction. Once you get past that state, and I mean, we do really well with harm reduction, especially for people in chaotic use, right? Like, you know, on the more severe end of the spectrum. We don't do really well with the jump from, like, once you get to that detox, the detox stage. Once you get to the detox stage,
we can give it a
hold
second
on.
for her.
Okay.
She's on here too. Her dog is
Was
so.
that
It
a
was her
dog?
Jude. Yeah, it was her dog Jude. Yeah, he just needs attention all the time, and he was on camera on like her episode. You got him. All right, what
no,
were you saying,
somebody
Tara?
else on our window.
My dog barks anytime someone walks in the home.
You were saying, Tara, about like
So once you get to like the recovery part,
yeah,
it's all like abstinent based resources mostly, right? Like it's like once you get to recovery, then yeah, you can probably like some places there's still a lot of sober living. It's kind of like once you get to, I would say actually when you get to sober living is really where you really get limited, right? Now
yeah,
it's like you pretty much got to fit in the abstinent box. There are I know a couple people that have been to one that accepts cannabis, and there are a few that, you know, I would say I can't say a percentage, but there are houses that accept medications for, like suboxone and methadone. But there are
What were you
still
going
a
to say to
lot that
Ashlee?
don't.
What were you going to say to
To
Ashlee?
Ashlee, I was going to say two things. I understand their point about if the event is geared towards children, not with the whole like, but it would be completely different if you were like a cannabis content creator, right? And then they asked you to come speak. I think that's just something that they could have addressed with you, like, hey, just so you know, we work with, in this, and that's when we'll say, yeah, and I don't post, that was my private story for my private, whoever can see. I don't do, that wasn't for the public. So, that was private for the people it was meant to be to seen. um I because
Yeah, like come talk to me. Ask me
yeah,
about it. Tell me what you're looking for. I'll tell you what I'm going to talk about, and then we'll squash it right there.
yeah, because there's no, as much as I want to, and that's one thing I've really stopped smoking on camera. I really don't like. I was like, oh, like smoke, and then I sat down and I was like, I really don't know if I want to smoke on camera. Like I don't do it like I don't do it on my stories anymore,
Mm.
because as much as I literally want to burn the stigma, it's like I feel like when people see you doing that, they literally will just, even when they don't see me doing it, like once people know that I use cannabis, they discredit everything I say to me using cannabis. Like everything, okay, go smoke a joint. Okay, go hit your, you know what I mean? Everything gets dismissed by that. So I feel like people take me less seriously if I'm smoking weed on the internet.
That sucks. I mean, obviously I don't, but like anymore. But the only reason I quit is not because I don't believe in it working anymore. It just stopped serving me, and I personally got out of hand with it. I'm an addict, and I started smoking all day, every day. I talked earlier about taking a hit here and there. Well, that hit here and there turned into, all the time, and that's when I don't believe that it's addicting. I believe that I was trying to escape by smoking all day and hitting a certain level and staying a certain amount of, so where I didn't have to think about anything or make any decisions or, I was trying to get to a point where I was, way too high, where I couldn't think and all that kind of stuff. So I just felt like it wasn't working for me anymore because I wasn't using it responsibly. I wasn't using it as a medication anymore,
Right.
and that's why it became a problem for me. And I can admit that. But I still believe it can work for a lot of people, and like
Right.
that's why I'm still good friends with both of you. And don't judge how you work your recoveries because I see it working and I know that both you don't get out of fucking hand. So, were you just writing something down, Tara?
Yeah, because I didn't want to forget.
I caught you. Go
So,
ahead.
so something else that Ashley said when she was talking about, people say this isn't sober, that isn't sober. So something that and it took me a while to get here, right? In learning from other people, but about the word sober, like technically when I'm smoking weed, like I'm not sober, I'm high, right? Like I'm stoned, and that's okay. Like that's okay, right? We don't have to, like we don't, it's almost like we made abstinence like the king, right? So we want to be seen as that, but who gives a shit if that's not serving us? No, I'm not sober, I get high, I smoke weed. So what? Like that's what works for me, that's okay. Because we don't, I think when we try to make things that aren't technically sober, say, and this is just my opinion, right? Like people can feel however they want, people disagree with me all the time. um but I feel like when we try to make things that are like technically, people who are taking methadone or suboxone technically, no, that's not sober. But that's, oh, I'm not saying it like, me, I'm not saying like you're not sober. I'm saying like, no, you're not, but who cares? Who cares, right? Like it works for you, it helps you. No, you're not, depending on your dose, whether you feel it, don't feel it, I really don't care. Whatever is working for you and whatever makes sense to you is none of my business. But we don't have to pretend that something is sober when it's not. Like we have so many other arguments that we can make. We don't have to argue with people about if we're sober or not. Like, no, I'm not. So what? Like, what else you got? Like there's so many more important things. I say this all the time. some of the biggest pieces of shit that I know are 100% abstinent and are so proud of their abstinent. They are the biggest fucking scumbags. Abstinence doesn't mean shit about your personality. It means you don't use any drugs. That's what it means. You know, and like technically you probably still do use some drugs, whether it's caffeine, nicotine. So, you know, you're not even really that abstinent, but that's a whole different conversation. So I'm just like
they're not ready for
inviting
that
people to think
conversation
about
yet.
it differently.
They're
You
not
know?
ready for that conversation yet, Tara.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And you know, I think that we need to be working together. And right
Yes.
now we're too busy like going back and forth with each other when
Yeah.
we need to be working together to try to help stop and help other addicts that are still out there actively using and dying. Like, you know, what was it? 84,000 people died last year, and people were celebrating because it wasn't 100,000 like it was a few years
I
ago.
know. It is
You
crazy,
know,
right?
like 84,000 is not something to celebrate about. At the end of the day, like, yeah, it's not 100,000, but it still means 84,000 people fucking died.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's.
I'll be so real though. We'll never come together. We'll never come together just because we believe like our fundamental beliefs are so different. Somebody who believes you have a progressive allergy, like that believes like fully in it, that like I'm talking about that every person fits that narrative. Like this is like you're either an addict or you're not. Somebody who has that is never going to co-sign something like a safe supply, a safe regulated supply, which in my opinion, is it going to be perfect? No. Is alcohol perfect? No. You know what I mean? Like there's still going to be issues, but I think in order to cut down on lives, like lives saved, that is the way people are always going to do drugs. We keep going after all of these drugs and when we started, are the drugs safer or are they more crazy now than when they went after all the prescriptions? We would love to have the I know it sounds fucked up, but we would love to have the deaths that we were having when OCs were all over the streets, right?
Yeah.
We would love to have those now. Like there's just so much, you know, and but people's other people who want to save, right? Everyone wants to save lives, right? What people who believe in abstinent based recovery is the way to go, that people have an incurable progressive disease, are not going to believe the same thing as people that think that a safe regulated supply with overdose prevention centers and things like that is the way to save lives. I don't know how you come to I'd love to, but I've been arguing with people against this for 5 years on the internet. I don't know where you meet in the middle in that. It's either the people have it in them, right? Like you guys, like you either have it in you and that's just part of your personality, or you don't. And a lot of people don't, you know, like sadly you guys aren't the norm. Or maybe you are, and maybe just the other ones are really silent about it because they don't want to, but you guys aren't the norm in what I encounter in the rooms.
Look at the difference right there. That is the flow chart. Right in the middle is around 2010 from OxyContin, and then look at now where fentanyl is in the top.
Yeah, is
So
it
like
getting better, guys, or is it getting
Right.
worse?
exactly, exactly. Yeah, I pulled it up. That was from the CDC also, so it's not just some bullshit, you know, Mayo Clinic website. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like not the bullshit Mayo. Mayo Clinic's pretty good, pretty accurate, but the CDC, that's completely accurate. You know, when it comes to, they're ones tracking that shit every year. So I mean, and actually, how is your area lately with overdoses?
Honestly, it's not too bad with overdoses because here, like I said, it's a small town. A lot of people were forced onto a drug court and forced onto vivitrol. So the big trend is nobody is ready to get sober. They get on vivitrol so they can't do heroin anymore. So now we've seen a big influx in meth use.
Oh my God.
So that's really the big thing is meth.
You can use, not that, spoiler alert, you can use, not to promote it, but you can use meth while you're on Vivitrol, basically.
Yeah, vivitrol is just for opiates
Opiates.
or alcohol, which honestly it doesn't even really work with alcohol because I know several people who consume alcohol while on vivitrol. But yes, for opiates it does work very well. Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me? Forced vivitrol, and yeah, and now you see. I wonder if that's going to be the new plan, and we're going to see a gigantic meth epidemic.
And what was crazy is I don't know if the county was getting some kind of kickback or something for how many people they got on vivitrol, but there's people who like their DOC was crack or meth, and they were forcing them onto vivitrol.
What?
Like that.
This is like insane. This is part of a drug court.
Yes.
So people were getting arrested, thrown in drug court, and then mandated.
Vivitrol.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And I just a waste of
where do you live?
Resources.
Tiffin, Ohio.
Holy shit!
Yeah. And actually, I guess they realized that the drug court really wasn't like all that in a bag of chips because it was ran on like grantings, whatever, to, I guess, see how it was going to go.
Oh, yeah. They were probably getting grants for it.
And see, so like, I don't know if there was some type of connection with vivitrol.
Yeah.
But it was a big failure. I mean, people were graduating the program and then relapsing quick because guess what? You can't make people get sober if they don't want to.
And when's the highest chances for an overdose is when you relapse.
Right.
The first use of the relapse is when you have the highest chance of overdosing.
Yeah. Well, now we don't get the grants for the drug court anymore, and the county decided to take it over. So whatever in our county, I don't know if it's our tax dollars or what, but something, it's paid for locally now. And it's gotten even like I just probably just a waste of time, I feel.
And so is this just something that like your county has decided, or is it like a statewide thing? Do you know? Or
like is it spreading?
I see it a lot with a lot of people getting forced onto the vivitrol and such. But I can really only speak for like Seneca County, knowing that like that was happening to people. Like I had friends who were using crack, using meth, and forced onto vivitrol. And like I even thought about like I was like, I'm a heroin addict and I had cravings, and I'm like, what, you're saying I can do this and I'm not gonna have cravings and this and that? Like, hell yeah, I'll do it. Like I wanted to do it, but I did sit and think like, don't we have that choice? Like you're making somebody put something in their body. Like honestly, I'm waiting for the commercial in 10 years. Like if you receive vivitrol between the years of X,
seriously.
Yeah,
no,
like
seriously.
Yeah, because I feel like it kind of just like boomed up and they were like, yes, everybody get on it.
I mean, this can't be the only place it's happened at.
Right.
Yeah, they got the idea from somewhere, or vivitrol is like pushing the idea to other counties like, hey, this is working in this county, so try it in this county. Look at the numbers today. Yeah. And it's all about numbers, to them. We're all just a number. That's what it comes down to.
Right.
Well, and
that's why I don't trust the treatment industry.
Trends. What?
So that's why I don't trust the treatment industry at all.
Yeah.
Like right when I had first gotten into recovery, gotten in my trouble and I had to go through the whole detox process. Like I knew it was going to be bad news. Like I'd been using nonstop for like 12 years. And when I had asked, can I get anything to help with withdrawal? And I was talking about suboxone because I knew it was going to be bad. And my probation officer straight looked at me and was like, are you talking about suboxone? Because if you're talking about suboxone, I'm recommending jail. And that's
what year was that?
That was 2017.
17, yeah.
But like now things have changed. Like they did the big like vivitrol push, and it was like right after I finished drug court is when they finally started being like, okay, people are graduating drug court and then coming back into drug court. So they finally started letting people get on suboxone. Well, then they had the stipulation that, in order to graduate, you have to be off of the suboxone. So they started doing those dumb little rules too, but yeah.
It's crazy. Because my husband got out of prison in 2017 and his probation officer like recommended, like he was like, you should go on suboxone, like you should. And my husband didn't want to at first, but then after a couple of 30 UAs, he was like, you need to go on suboxone or you're going back. So
yeah.
Like I was saying, Massachusetts is more progressive than Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Let's be real. And then I'm like kind of in the middle of Pennsylvania, where like part of our state is, and unfortunately, like the parts of Pennsylvania that are progressive are like Pittsburgh and Philly, and then the rest of the state is like not. And like Scranton's kind of progressive; they're getting there. But like I live in the middle of fucking nowhere, where we're not progressive, and it sucks to see what's going on, with people around here. I mean, there's no presence in this community for recovery besides AA, and that's it. Literally, that's the only one. Like, and I know you're not against, you're not a fan of 12 steps, but like, I wanted to go to Narcotics Anonymous, when I relapsed last year in 2024, and I couldn't even do that. I had to do AA, and I got bitched at because, as you know, Tara, and Ashlee, is I want to talk about drugs and AA, and they told me straight up the usual old timer bullshit. You're gonna have to talk about alcohol and how your discussion, how it pertains to alcohol. I'm like, all right, see ya. And I haven't gone back since because I started doing Zoom instead for NA, and that saved me in that time, and that's what I still do. But like, I liked going to places in person in the community, but that's how backwards our area is where I live. Is there's not, and I tried starting an NA. You both know, you met me when I had a recovery room.
Yeah.
And, when I had the meeting center, and nobody showed because all they know in this area is AA, and that's it. I tried my ass off to even try mental health meetings, like just straight up mental health. Come in, talk about how you're feeling. Like, yeah, we're all addicts, but like at the end of the day, we need to work on our mental health. And that's what I was trying to like talk about. And
that's so sad, dude, because you needed that so bad in that area. I wish that could have got advertised more. Like I
tried to advertise it. Radio stations wouldn't talk about it with me. Newspaper ran it. I'll give the newspaper credit. The newspaper ran it on the front page. But like, I couldn't get sponsors because they didn't want their name tied to it.
Yeah.
This is how fucking backwards shit is.
That's
because
so
of on the front page of paper, it did get some like, people knew about it to the point where they were going to build a park across the street, like a little park across the street from our place. And, it was right downtown in the middle of town square, basically. And there's a section of the newspaper where people can like complain and like send in emails of complaints. And someone said, I don't want them to build that park until that drug center's gone.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
We're not just like handing out drugs at the drug center. Like, what the fuck do you think we're doing there? And it pissed me off so fucking much when I heard that, because my wife reads the paper every day, so they read that to me, and I'm like, oh my God, we got to send in something, a rebuttal. We got to send in a rebuttal. Like,
oh my God.
And now that we left, guess what's there now? A fucking park. They built a park after we left.
And see, I've tried stuff like that in my area too. Like, it's basically AA or NA. I've started like an all recovery type meeting, where I would even advertise like, Matt, welcome. You know what I mean? Like, this is for you. This is for anybody. This is for everybody.
What were you telling me about the cannabis 12 steps that you saw? What was that, Ashlee?
Oh, the Cali Sober. And like, about them too, Tara, the Cali Sober community online. That shit's really cool. I've been starting to like follow their stuff and read it. And like I was telling him, like,
there's like a bunch of them now. There's like several cannabis ones. I remember I tried back when I first started, and it was just a Zoom meeting, but I would get like people would come like one time. But yeah, I do know the cannabis group that you're talking about, the Cali Sober. There's Cali Sober. There's Maintaining My Recovery with Cannabis or something like that. There's Grass. There's one more. Oh no, there's I have it on my phone. Well, I don't have my phone with me. But yeah, there's if you want for your people, I can give you a list. Actually, I did it for my if you go to 420recovery.org/groups.
Hold on.
I have like a list of a few of the cannabis ones. Like there's Zoom ones. Do you have
what's it 420 recovery what?
420recovery.org/groups. I put
So
them
like,
on there.
have these other groups like made their own like book or like program type thing, like how Quinn has done that with the Cali Sober?
So I'd say Quinn's is like, from what I know, like I'm just on the outside looking in on all of these
Right.
groups, right? But from what I can see, Quinn's is like the most like I don't know the word for it, but yeah, like he has like a sober living for it. He has like, I think he also has different chapters, which I was gonna say, if you were interested in doing a chapter in your area, he'd probably be down to it, because I know he's like trying. His is like the most like that. The other ones that I see, from what I can see, there could be a bunch of shit that I don't see. They just seem like online Zoom groups. I don't think any of them have in-person meetings like the Cali Sober has
Right.
in-person meetings. He's the only in-person meeting I've seen.
That's what we
But
just
I could
talked
be
about.
wrong.
You're starting your own chapter, like your own thing in your area. Now,
Yeah.
what does ashwagandha do for people in recovery, Tara? Can you speak on that?
Ashwagandha?
Yeah.
I honestly can't. I really don't
Okay.
know. I've heard a lot of good things, but then somebody that I trusted said that it's I guess like this I guess there's like he was saying there was like a bunch of studies and stuff that it's not actually, like the studies are skewed, and so I don't know, I can't speak on it.
Are you thinking
Okay.
of
Here's
ayahuasca?
Oh, ayahuasca is different. That's like
I was gonna say, is that what you were
ayahuasca is
thinking
something
of?
you have to go to for like a retreat and with a group of people, and you do it like in a tent.
Yeah.
And like ashwagandha is a pill you take every day, a little capsule, which
Okay.
is legal everywhere. It's like an over-the-counter thing.
A lot of people say it's good, but I've heard
It's like,
mixed reviews.
yeah.
I don't know enough about it.
I found Red Eyed Recovery, which is awesome. Red Eyed Recovery is the name of the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's an awesome name. The password is joint with a capital J, which is awesome.
Oh, you went to the website?
Yeah, I'm on the website
Yeah.
now. It's Mondays at 6 p.m. Central Time, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Central Time, Wednesdays at 8 a.m. Central Time and 6 p.m. Central Time, Thursdays 6 p.m. Central Time, and Fridays at 10 a.m. Central Time.
See, mine is like, I'm more of like, I want to go like in person to stuff. I feel like sometimes like I've done the online meeting like when COVID happened and like we kind of like had to do that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a struggle for me. I have a hard time like being able to sit and focus. Like, as you see, I was trying to do this shit with you guys and my dog acts like a damn idiot and he's like barking. So like, it's hard for me to like sit and focus, like, okay, this is what I'm doing for the next hour. Like, I know if I'm going somewhere for something, like I'm there, I'm present, and like that is what I'm doing.
Well, I think you talk to Quinn about it. You tell him that you want to start an in-person in your area, and then the hardest part is going to be finding, maybe go to a church, the old school way. What?
I said I laughed because I tried that with an Ohio can meeting where
that's
it was.
What I mean. Yeah, the hardest thing is finding a spot that's going to be willing for you to do that. You know, and I'm trying to think where else besides churches that you could do. Like in our area, we do have. I'll give them credit. It's a drop-in center, and they look for all different kinds of like meetings to host out of there. It is out of a church. But my wife does recovery Dharma meetings out of there, and they do it every Monday at like 1:30 in the afternoon, and they get like 10 to 20 people in there.
I've utilized the library. The library's good at having rooms available, but also it's just trying to get the support and attendance. I usually do stuff for about a month. And then if it's really just like not taking off, I get really discouraged and I don't. And then plus I can never get anybody to like personally like help me out. Like it's just me trying to do.
Well, I think what your first thing you'd have to do is, and this is where like I didn't do what I should have done. Looking back on the things that I wish I did was I wish I would have started a Facebook group locally and gotten a lot of traction with like people locally in the area to join this Facebook group to like talk about events, talk about things like that. Maybe, you know, you have your first meeting in the park where no one can talk to you about what the hell you're talking about. And then once you get like a park meeting going locally outside, then try to find like, hey, we've been doing this meeting in the park for the last like 6 months or 2 months or whatever, it's about to be winter time. Can we move it inside? And we need a spot to go. Like, and we're really quiet, and we know we're a small group. We just need somewhere warm to go. And that would be somewhere different as opposed to, like, I don't know how many people are going to show up. This is brand new. And I'm just trying it. And then they're more like, well, figure it the fuck out and then come talk to me. But I think if you start with like a small Facebook group and then try to have little meetups in public outside, where people can't say shit about what you're talking about. And then you can kind of get, have some traction to move it inside somewhere is what I should have done. And that's where like things that like looking back in like, retrospect for what, whatever they call that. That's where I missed out on opportunities doing that.
And I think if I mean we're all, like, I think with Quinn, he obviously would help you too in the social media part of it. So
Right.
you'd have that. You wouldn't be totally alone, right? You'd have someone else who is invested in your success, or probably multiple people from there that would be invested in your success. So
I can help you out
be
too.
different,
I would help you out, obviously.
So I wish you luck.
Something to think about.
I was, whatever if group, for me, meetings, I hate them. I hate Zoom meetings. I hate in-person meetings. I hate everything about them. But I know for people who like them, it's important. It's important to have a group. If that's your thing, it's important to have a space where you can go and feel, and it sucks. I know from just throughout the years trying, and all mine were just Zoom. It sucks when you have an idea and you put time and effort into it, and the need is there. Like, the right people are out there for this, and there's a lot of them, but like it's just not hitting. Like, you're not hitting them at the right time in their life for whatever reason, or just the right people aren't hearing about, and it sucks. So I definitely, I feel for that, and I get that. I do.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage you do have, Ashlee, in my opinion, is that you've been in your area like your entire life. Besides that little time that you moved in with your husband, you were 18, like forever away. Besides that little like brief time in your life, you've lived in Tiffin your entire life. So people in and out. Even when you're clean, the ones that are still using.
Right.
So you have that advantage of being able to talk to people like, hey, I know you're still using, but just come listen. And check it out. I don't care if you come high, just come and listen, and come talk about why you still want to stay high. Like little things like that. Just give people a safe place to come to, where they can talk about why they're still struggling,
Right.
And why they're apprehensive about stopping. Maybe it is, they're afraid of, having to be completely abstinent, and nobody will talk to them if they're smoking weed. But if you're like, oh no, we're starting this. Bring your friends, then it gives them a place. Maybe they're going to smoke a lot at first because that's what they need to do. And then maybe eventually, like Tara did, like you smoked all the time in your stories, like you said back, a few years ago, but now it's a hit or two here and there, and I know Ashlee, you're the same way, where like you don't even smoke before work. You get up, you do what you got to do, and and then you get home, you're like, all right, now I need to calm down and bring myself back down. I need to go to sleep tonight and I have trouble sleeping. Little things like that, where it's not like using to escape like I was.
Sure.
I wish I could use it to escape. When I smoke, I think too much. It like gets my mind, you know what I mean? Like if I'm in a bad headspace, there's no escaping if I'm smoking. If I'm in a bad headspace and I smoke, that's all I'm going to think about. And I'm going to get so paranoid about it. So I'm gonna be like, oh my God, and I'm gonna try to solve the problem, and it's just not gonna work out.
No, I what about you, Ashlee? When you smoke, are you doing it to escape like I am, or are you more thinking too much, or like Tara is? Like, where's your head go?
Honestly, it's really just like relaxation for me. I feel like that's like, it's totally normal for somebody to fucking say they're going home and having a beer after a long day at work, or to be a wine mom and
Right?
you need your mommy juice. So I feel like, yeah, my thing is I just worked hard all day. I'm coming home. I'm trying to decompress.
Yeah.
I struggle with mental health issues as well. So coming home at the end of the day, and I need to decompress, and that's something that helps me decompress. And I
Instead
don't
of taking a bunch of Xanax, you're taking a hit of your bowl.
right, because they'll throw as many pills as I want at me. But smoking weed is like way off the table, and that's just crazy.
Yeah, I met with a urologist the other day because I have some rough news for myself health wise. I had to get a biopsy done right after my birthday, like the day my birthday is on the 29th, and then biopsy the 30th because of possible bladder cancer. And I met with her, and she's going through all my meds, and she's like, "All right, let's go through your previous meds." I'm like, "All right, it's going to be a long one." And
Now, let me tell you what I haven't taken. Let's
Yeah.
just start there.
literally pulled up, and she's like, "Oh my god, are these like?" I'm like, "Those were all in the last 4 years." She's like, "What?" I'm like,
Yeah. And see, they'll give those to you no problem with
yeah,
10 side effects to it. But like the
Yep.
video I just shared yesterday about Cat Williams talking about weed, he's like, the only side effects: hungry, happy, sleepy. That's it. I'm like, oh, I can deal with that versus like taking a pill because for my anxiety, but the side effect is restlessness and agitation. I'm like, what is that? That's like the purpose. That's what I'm already feeling. I don't want to bring that onto myself more intense. So yeah.
Well, I know we're going to end soon. Tara, what's your show about now? Like, how long have you been doing your show? Where can they find your show? What's it about?
So my podcast is called The Recovery Rebellion. I've done it since March or April. I try to upload every week. It's just I work like over 40 hours a week, plus try to do my other stuff. So I'm always behind on editing. But I have like a stack of interviews and a stack of episodes ready to be edited. But I do try to upload every Sunday. And basically it's just about recovery reform and treatment reform and all the lies that we've been told, and trying to change the narrative about so many things, and just talking. I also do interview people. I have solo episodes and interview people just on their experience. For a lot of people, it's their experience in the rooms and leaving the rooms. And it's on YouTube and basically anywhere you listen to a podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon,
The big
those
ones.
places. Yeah.
Yep. And it's Recovery Rebellion.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, we had a fun time, when I was on yours, and it was, the shoe was on the other foot because I'm used to interviewing you, and this time I get to sit down and have to not prepare at all, and just be interviewed this time, and I enjoyed that. And Ashlee, want to talk about Ohio Can real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
Ohio Can, we're in counties all over Ohio. I handle my home county, Seneca. Ohio Can is actually really big on harm reduction. A lot of the chapters do naloxone distribution. A few of them actually do safe supplies. So I found my little family in that. But in Seneca County, like I said, I can't really get anybody to like work with me as a team, because honestly there's like other organizations and we can never collaborate. It's got to be a competition. So it's really just like me against the world. But what I do is I'm a naloxone distributor through Harm Reduction Ohio. The fentanyl testing strips, Plan B, condoms, pregnancy tests. I do fundraisers, and any of the money that's raised goes directly back into my county, Seneca County. I've helped people get Christmas presents for their kids. Gas is getting shut off. I've paid gas bills. People get out of jail after they were using and then went to jail and got sober. So then they gained that weight and they got out of jail and didn't have no clothes. I've taken them shopping so they have clothes that fit them. Like, that's the kind of thing I do. And like I said, like, I love everybody. I love you no matter where you're at, whether you're wanting to get sober, you're not wanting to get sober. Like, I just want you to be safe. I don't judge. because that's the person I needed maybe when I first started my journey, because my journey was, I started out with 12 steps and all that stigmatic stuff. So like I actually used to be that person because that's what was put in my head, where it was like, oh my God, you're on suboxone, you're not fucking sober. Like, you know what I mean?
I used to go the same way too.
Yeah, I was the same way.
But then like another thing was like in the rooms you learn you're supposed to be honest, open-minded, and willing. And they are some of the most non-open-minded or willing people ever. So like, I mean, I take a little bit of my recovery pieces from like everything, you know. I have found some things beneficial from the rooms, 12 steps, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just, whatever works for you, works for you. And if you're living better than what you were living yesterday, baby, and what you're doing now isn't going to kill you right away, fuck yeah, man. And that's, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I love you both. Thank you for sitting down and talking with me today. And yeah, keep doing what you're doing in your communities and online. And I'll keep having you back. Tara, Ashlee, we know number 10 to visit is coming on soon. So this was number 9. Keep killing it.
Keep coming back.
Oh no.
It works if you're working, Tara.
No.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Thank you.
See ya.